Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Superchunk Super Audio Show. Today I have some very new ear tips for you guys, and as you know, I love ear tips and ear tips make my earphones sound good. And with that, welcome to Superchunk Show. It's great to see you guys again. Let's go! Okay, so the first ear tips are the new ones that just came out with the Sony WF-1000XM4. Yes, I know the name is a mouthful, and I had some difficulty remembering it. But yes, those are the tips, and the name of those tips are the Sony Ni1000. And the second ear tip that we have in question today is the Symbiote W ear tips. I know that these ear tips have been out for some time, but today, well, the past few days were my first time using them, and I think they are quite interesting. And I have some very cool tips and tricks for you to take note when you are using them as well. So let's start off with the Sony Ni1000. I got the name right this time around. So they are Sony's foamy hybrid tips that come with the WF-1000X Mark IV. And what you'll notice on it, first thing is the profile of the ear tips. They look very different from whatever Sony has come up from before. I know before they have the TP, I forgot the name, okay? The names are jumble words, messy words of stuff. The one that was mentioned in the previous video, those are dome-shaped silicone ear tips with a foam casing on top of the silicone. And it clearly looks like a dome. But for the ear tips that I'm mentioning today, they look drastically different. In fact, the profile is so different that it looks kind of square, to be honest with you. And due to this brand new profile, they seal much better. So the thing with the Ni1000 is that it is the same like its previous reiteration, whereby there is a silicone dome underneath the foam. But on top of that, this time around, there is also a coating on top of the foam as well. And I think it really aids in the longevity of things. So traditionally with foam tips, once the foam comes into contact with your skin, they degrade over time. But with this new coating, I've been using these ear tips for quite a while. They have been holding up, and I don't find performance to be degrading in any way or form. So for the Ni1000, the opening of the ear tip is actually medium small, so I won't say they give you the areas of highs, but this is what I find to be absolutely amazing on the Ni1000s. In terms of bass, there is a small boost in bass quality, so it's not like you're gonna get a lot of thunderous bass with this ear tips, but the small bit of bass boost can really aid in some ear tips that need a bit more bass, and I think that this really makes it a very nice listen. Also, on top of treble, because it's foam, it does reduce treble somewhat, but it's not to a significant amount. In fact, it is actually a very gentle reduction, so this can replace my everyday silicone ear tips. I do not find that the reduction is very stifling in terms of soundstage. In fact, it is actually very balanced. Sometimes when I feel like listening to music with a bit more kick, I would choose these ear tips. So let's move on with the positives of these ear tips. So the first positive thing about this ear tips is its seal. I get a very amazing seal with these ear tips, and also it is very comfortable. Another positive is that it adds to bass just a hair. I think these ear tips do a good job of adding just enough bass to the sound mix and not too much. Because if it's too much, they get too boomy. And also in terms of treble, yes, it attenuates treble just a hair and not too much. Overall, I find these ear tips to be quite balanced sounding. It is not completely neutral, but it is overall a very enjoyable listen. To me, the Ni1000 has one big negative, and to be honest with you, it's coin. These ear tips cost a whopping 39 Singapore dollars from the Sony store just for a single pair. And to be honest with you, that is way too much for ear tips. They are really good, but however good they are, I don't think that you can justify the 39 Singapore dollars for them. It is ridiculous, and it is really overpriced, to be honest. Next up would be the second pair of ear tips that I have recently discovered. These are the Symbiote W ear tips. Now the Symbiote W ear tips, basically it's a silicone ear tip that has some thermoplastic foam underneath it. It kind of combines the best of both worlds. It allows you to have the tone from a silicone ear tip while giving you the seal of a foam ear tip. So the foam on the Symbiote, this is very interesting because they're made of thermoplastics. They react differently to different temperatures. So if you're using them on a cold day, they will feel very hard. But if you warm them up, it will be significantly softer. So for best performance of the Symbiote W ear tips, what I suggest you to do is to roll them first in between your fingers, try to squish them like how you would do with foam, and quickly shove them up your ears. Now I realize what I said could sound very, very awkward and funny, but there is no pun intended.
That's not a great analogy.
I don't know, but really you have to just squish them and just put them in your ears.
Stop gesticulating.
Fine. If you don't do that and you just shove them in as per normal, what you get is a very shallow insertion, and most of the time I feel that if you don't roll them up and put them in, you get really attenuated bass, and also the seal is not fantastic. So for these ear tips, I highly suggest that you roll them before putting them in your ears and let them expand a little naturally in your ears, and that creates the best seal. So the Symbiote ear tips actually have a medium-sized opening with a medium-length stem, and in terms of how it affects the sound, I feel that if you use a rolled-up method to put them in your ear, you get a very fast and tight bass. Also, the decay on the notes are a little bit faster as well. In terms of treble, there isn't any significant reduction, so these ear tips are also quite neutral. In fact, between the two ear tips I mentioned today, personally I'll select the Sony's, even though it's expensive, because I'm a lazy asshole. I find just rolling out ear tips and putting them in your ear is very troublesome, so I would side with the Sony's on this and maybe just have a pair. So the positives for the Symbiote is that it seals really well, and the bass really tightens up if you insert them correctly. The negatives is that, well, these ear tips are a bit of a pain to put them on because you have to roll them each time you want to put them in your ear, and it's really troublesome, to be honest with you. And secondly, the performance really decreases a lot if you don't roll them up and put into your ear. So in conclusion, between the two ear tips, you already know that I'll pick the Sony over the Symbiote. I just find that it sounds a little bit more organic. It has a bit more of the silicone normal type tone, although it does increase the bass a little bit and reduces the treble just by a hair as well. I'm just a lazy person, so I just like to wear them like any other ear tip. The Symbiotes are a bit more fiddly. Are they an upgrade? I would say they are a decent selection if you're looking for a very good seal, but they are fiddly, which is something that I completely do not like. So thank you very much for watching the Superchunk Super Audio Show. I hope you liked today's episode on two hybrid ear tips. I had quite a bit of fun making this video, talking rubbish in front of the camera again. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Just one thing to note, remember the giveaway that I did a few episodes ago, where the winner was Mr. Tam. So apparently he hasn't contacted me yet, and I'll be doing another video selecting another winner. The prize has got to go to somebody who, well, emails me basically. Anyways, great to see you guys again. Thank you so much for watching the Superchunk Super Audio Show, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye guys!